92 atmospheres, lead melting heat, sulfuric acid rain. We spend billions gazing at the red planet, dreaming of rusty outposts in the cold dust, but we avert our eyes from the morning star. Venus is Earth's twisted reflection, a twin sister that descended into absolute madness. It is a suffocating, crushing hellscape where the greenhouse effect went terminal, trapping heat until the rock itself began to glow. The structural integrity has been compromised. Compression forces exceed design parameters. To stand on its surface is to be instantly crushed, incinerated, and dissolved by the very air you try to breathe. But in the grand, cold calculus of cosmic survival, Venus is not a warning to be feared, but a broken engine waiting to be restarted. We are not looking for a lifeboat. We are looking for a planetary resurrection. It is time to extinguish hell. This is not a colony. This is a resurrection. To terraform Venus is to commit to a project of such chronological magnitude that it defies modern capitalism and political cycles. It is a cathedral project in the truest sense. Just as the stonemasons of the Middle Ages laid foundations for spires they would never see, the first generation of Venusian engineers will live and die in orbit, looking down at a world that still wants to kill them. We are talking about a timeline of 6 to 10 centuries. The code of life, forever bound in every soul. The scenario begins not on the surface, but in the clouds. Before we can walk on the ground, we must float above the hellscape. Imagine vast, buoyant cities drifting 50 kilometers up. I still can't believe we live above the cloud. It's breathtaking every time, and the air is perfect. These are the command centers, the war rooms. From these sky havens, humanity looks down at the task. The what if here demands total planetary mobilization. We don't just land a few rovers. We declare war on the atmosphere itself. The goal is not merely to survive on Venus, but to strip it of its armor. Cool its fever, and force it to become a second Earth by sheer brute force of engineering. The sky must change from a crushing yellow smog to a deep, bruised purple. And finally, after a millennium of patience, to a sharp, clear azure. The sensors show a perfect yield today. That's wonderful news, Gia. We'll have enough for the whole sector. It requires a species that thinks in geological time. If we falter at year 300, everything reverts. The planet heats up again. Progress is lost. As the rotational velocity approaches the asymptotic limit, the distinction between matter and energy
ceases to exist. The scope is terrifying. Phase 1. Total eclipse.
The first step in dismantling hell is to turn off the heat source. We cannot touch the surface. We wait between our feedbacks. We look to the Lagrange point 1, a gravitational sweet spot between Venus and the Sun. Here, we construct the Great Shade. Not a single monolith, but a swarm of millions of autonomous, ultra-thin mirrors. This swarm forms a partial Dyson structure, blocking the relentless solar radiation. On Venus, the sun goes out. For the first time in billions of years, the planet is cast into shadow. The temperature, currently hot enough to melt lead, begins to plummet. It is a controlled, induced ice age. As the heat fades, the atmosphere begins to collapse. This is where physics works in our favor. As the temperature drops below critical thresholds, the carbon dioxide, which makes up 96% of the atmosphere, stops being a gas. It turns into a liquid, and then, as the cold deepens, it freezes. Imagine a snowstorm of dry ice, raining down for decades. Burying the lowlands in frozen carbon dioxide glaciers. The atmospheric pressure drops from a crushing 92 bars to a manageable, Earth-like level. We have deflated the monster. Phase 2, the bombardment. Venus is dry, bone dry. To build an Eden, we need water, and we need hydrogen. To chemically scrub the remaining oxygen out of the CO2. We look to the outer solar system. We harvest comets from the Kuiper Belt, or siphon hydrogen from the upper atmosphere of Saturn. We do not ask the planet to change. We violently rewrite its chemistry through orbital ballistics. We launch these ice mountains on collision courses. This is not gentle gardening. This is planetary surgery, performed with kinetic strikes. Impact confirmed. Estimated yield incalculable. Every impact delivers trillions of tons of water and hydrogen. The energy of these collisions serves a dual purpose. It delivers the necessary elements for life And if aimed precisely at the equator, the kinetic transfer can actually spin the planet up, correcting its sluggish retrograde rotation. We're jump-starting the planet's heart. Phase 3, the Bosch reaction. Now, the chemistry begins. With hydrogen introduced to the CO2-rich environment, we catalyze the Bosch reaction on a planetary scale. Carbon dioxide plus 2 molecules of hydrogen yields carbon and 2 molecules of water. Observe the dissolution of the covalent bond. The data stream is unstable, resulting in molecular fragmentation. The math is elegant, but the result is messy and industrial. The reaction strips the carbon out of the air, leaving behind 2 things: pure water and solid graphite. The resulting landscape is surreal as the new global oceans begin to form, filling the low-lying basins. They wash up against dunes of black graphite. To miles of carbon residue left over from the death of the old atmosphere. We introduce algae, extremophile bacteria genetically designed to eat sulfur and excrete oxygen. The biological phase takes over. The mirrors at L1 open slightly, letting in filtered sunlight. The photosynthesis begins. The first green blooms appear in the water. The sky, once a choking yellow, fades to a pale, toxic gray. Honey. And finally, as oxygen levels rise and the sulfur rains are neutralized, it clears. The machine is running. The planet breathes. It is a chaotic, violent, and industrialized birth.
We have turned a pressure cooker into a petri dish. Section 4. We have touched the
Promethean Fire. The implication of the Venus Project extends far beyond the physical transformation of rock and gas. To execute this, we cannot remain a squabbling collection of nations, fighting over borders on Earth, while simultaneously coordinating the movement of comets and the output of the sun. To build a second Earth is to become a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale. This transition brings a terrifying weight. When we decide that a planet's natural state, its geology, its history, its very atmosphere, is wrong and must be corrected to suit us, we cross an ethical event horizon. If we have the power to resurrect a dead world, we also possess the absolute power to destroy a living one. The technology required to terraform Venus is indistinguishable from a planetary weapon. This is the Great Filter. The coordination required to maintain the mirror swarm for 5 centuries. Aventures forces us to outgrow our own self-destructive tendencies. We falter. If we descend into war, the mirrors drift. The sun returns. The ice melts. The hell returns. The project demands a transgenerational ethics. Are we a plague spreading across the stars, consuming and rewriting everything in our image? Or are we life's only mechanism for survival against the cold, dark entropy of the universe? The Sapphire morning. A 1,000 years have passed. The orbital mirrors now act as a permanent mechanical iris, regulating a day-night cycle that Venus never possessed naturally. The acid is gone. The pressure is normalized. We stand on the shores of the Ishtar Terra archipelago. The waves that break against the black graphite sand are deep indigo. It is Earth, but not Earth. The sun is larger in the sky here. A dominant, blazing eye, tamed only by our engineering. The plants that cling to the new continents are darker, evolved to drink the filtered light. It is a curated wilderness, a masterwork of art painted with gravity, biology, and patience. We have proven that biology is not a cosmic lottery ticket, but a choice. We have looked at a dead rock and commanded it to live. We are no longer bound to a single point of failure. The cradle has become a system. We look up into the twilight sky of this new world and see a bright, azure star. The Mother. We realize that we are no longer orphans clinging to a single, fragile rock. We have secured the backup drive for the human soul. The universe is vast, cold, and indifferent. But in this pocket of the dark, we have lit a second fire. We have raged against the dying of the light. And for now, we have won.